Hello and welcome to Ham Nation, episode 584 for October 23rd, 2024. Hello and welcome, everybody. Thanks for waiting on Ham Nation again here on the Ham Radio Crash Course. Appreciate you doing so. We're going to have a lot of fun, but first we got to say hi to our wonderful hosts. Hey, at the top of the pyramid, look at that. We got him back, everybody. Randy's here. How you
Hi
doing,
there.
Randy?
Hi again. We're doing good, It's been a fun weekend. I got to meet out and hang out with you for a while down at Pacificon. It was a great show. I guess we'll talk about that some more later.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun hanging out with you and getting to hang out in person, right? So it was great seeing you. Thanks for coming out and saying hi.
Yeah.
Don, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing well, thank you very much. We've got a solar update from Dr. T tonight, and she was telling me via our texting back and forth that the sun launched a little flare today. We've got a storm going, so this is going to be a brand new forecast that we just got mere moments ago. So we've got it hot off the press from Dr. T. That's coming up, along with the latest in the news from Amateur Radio Newsline.
Very exciting. And Amanda, how you doing?
I'm doing good, thank you. We are having some technical difficulties tonight, you guys. Our guest is about to throw his laptop
He's
in the
working
garbage.
with us. He's a very patient man. Reminder:
He is.
Yes.
Skype
Thank
is
goodness.
Skype. Unfortunately, is the way we do this. I need to work at that, but we'll get it sorted out hopefully in the future here. But he's trying.
Yes,
Yeah.
so we might hear about the National Radio Club tonight, and hopefully so. And other than that, I'll be watching chat, and I also have Ham It, Can It, or What Am It for the end of the show.
Oh, boy.
I know, I'm so
love that.
excited. I have some really good ones. You guys are doing a good job on X and Insta. I'll tell you what, I'm finding some gems. So anyhow, stay tuned. We got a great show. So let's see. I guess Randy, you're gonna start it off. You're gonna take Gordo's place tonight.
Right.
Oh, we are missing Gordo, by the way.
Yes.
He
Yes.
said he was sorry. Couldn't make. He's still recuperating from Pacificon, I guess.
I think he's got some club stuff he said he's working on.
Okay.
Probably, yeah.
Yep.
So we want to talk about Pacificon first or my DX chasing?
You light us up with
Yeah.
whatever.
Okay, why don't we talk about what I've been doing here? There's a thing called CQ Marathon. I'm going to bring up the web page for that.
If you need a screen
Oh.
share, go right ahead.
Yeah, I'm going to do it. Start sharing. Okay, you should have that. Did
will
it work?
kick in a second. There
we go. Okay. So CQ DX Marathon. This is a year-long contest. And the goal here is to see how many DX entities you can work and how many CQ zones in 1 year. And what's nice about it, you don't need confirmations. So
Oh,
I've been focusing on, so that makes it easier. So I've been focusing on this using FT8 and FT4, primarily FT8, because that's where most of the activity is. And of course, it starts January 1st and ends December 31st. So it's a full year-long contest. And let me just shrink that down. You can see one of my screens here that I use quite a bit. So this is Grid Tracker running with the map, and all the yellow lines are the stations that I am hearing right now. And if I had been transmitting for a while, I get a bunch of blue lines on there, which are stations that are actually receiving me through the PSK reporter and all that stuff. So it makes it really interesting to see where the RF is being squirted around. The window over on the right with all the boxes there that keeps cycling through, this is JT Alert. And this is the key to chasing DX, because this thing knows what DX I want, what states I want, what zones I want, all sorts of things you can set up in there. And so you can set up these alerts, and it'll come up and say DX for a new one, or new zone, or state, or something like that. So since the beginning of the year, I've now worked, and today was a good day. Let me go stop the sharing here. Get my mouse over here on this screen. My mouse goes across 4 screens here. Did I do it?
Yeah.
Okay. It's got a lot of delay here. So today was a really good day. When you start off doing this DX marathon, you work a whole bunch of DX in the first month or two, and then it kind of slows down. And the further you go into the year, the slower and slower the new ones come along. So back on October 3rd, I had worked with Tumba Island, and that was for my 231st DX entity for the year.
Wow.
Since the beginning of the year, I've worked all 40 CQ zones. And, the one where Egypt is really hard to get because there's not a lot of radio activity out of there. And that's also a pretty long haul here from the Oregon coast. But this weekend is the CQ DX SSB contest. This is a big worldwide. So a lot of stations are getting fired up. So a lot of these guys are getting their stations on the air and testing things out. And they're playing around with some FT8. So today I worked WH6GNK/4. This is a fellow on Midway, northwest of Hawaii. Then I worked 5R8WE, which is in Madagascar, off the eastern African coast. I worked VQ5 Yankee, Turks and Caicos Islands. They're just east of Cuba. And then I worked ZL7IO on Chatham Island, and he's out there east of New Zealand. So I'm up to 235 for the year. And I also kind of keep track of a paper log. And
what is that?
Wow.
Well, that's the backup.
Oh my God, I love it.
Yeah. But I do have a nice fancy one here. Let me bring it up. Let me go back to screen sharing. And this one here. Start sharing. So this is a spreadsheet that the CQDX Marathon provides. And this is what I'll turn in. Okay, so there it is. So I got a few openings here, but this is my, the official log. So you can see Conway Reef and, Vietnam. And it just goes on and on here.
Some of those are not easy contacts.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Very good.
Yeah.
Randy, I have a couple more questions. Keep that screen up if you don't mind.
Sure.
Is this how you log everything? Is just through an Excel spreadsheet?
No, my main logs for my station is the N3F FPJ log.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and that's where when I hit the log button on WSJT, it goes over there. Then I have to manually load it into the spreadsheet here. Here's the Madagascar from today. Uganda, Kenya, Jamaica. So this is kind of the official thing. North and South Cook Islands, the Canary Islands. Yeah.
Wow. Impressive.
This is very impressive.
So
there might be a little bit of jealousy over here.
A little bit.
And if I go into JT Alert and go to Wanted DXCC, this is how I tell it which ones I want. You can have the log in one program, tracking a log in another, but after a while it gets kind of, I think, confusing and complicated to keep all these things in sync. So this window is all the ones I've worked, and this window is the ones I need.
Mm-hmm.
So when I work one, I select it here and push it over there, then that one's off. And this is what drives the alerts. So if there's a new country or entity, it'll show up down here in yellow, and the thing will speak DX to me. So then
it will speak there. DX to you.
Yeah, it says DX. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the computer talks. Yeah.
Now, Randy, what's going on?
You get notifications when you use that, right?
Yes. So I can be sitting over on the sofa here watching, YouTube videos on ham radio, and I hear DX. I look over here, and move my butt over and get in the chair. But a lot of the times you get a false FT8 call sign decode.
Oh, yeah.
And it'll look like a DX. So, I see it show up in yellow. I double click on it. And I start transmitting. I take and copy the call sign, put it in QRZ, and QRZ's going, we don't know what that is. And then I stop transmitting. And then, I don't see it again. I don't see people calling that call sign.
Bummer.
So, yeah.
Now, question, Randy, have you
Sure.
thought of using, because you got a 7610 like I do, have you thought of
Yes.
using that SDR control application?
No.
Then you can remote your 7610 through your phone or tablet, and it'll
Yeah.
do voice or FT8.
Well, probably
Really?
for doing all this, a remote desktop
there
system
you
would be
go.
better, because then I
Yeah.
can just leave it running. But I have 3 monitors here, so it gets kind of confusing. I can show you. I go back in the screen share here, show you the main log. Here it is. And I don't have my LOTW working, but I use the QRZ logging. So the green means it's confirmed through QRZ. Did it come up?
Yeah, sorry.
okay.
I have to
Okay,
switch you manually. There you go.
Yeah. Okay. So I've been working a lot of stations. There's like 2,600. And of course, while I'm sitting here, I also have the alerts in JT Alert set up. Anytime POTA is shown in the FT8 text, and it'll go bong, and go, oh, I can work another POTA. So I've been doing that as well. So let's just see here.
So you've turned yourself into a big game ham radio hunter for all
Yeah.
kinds of contacts. is
You
what
really
you're-
have.
right?
Wow.
Yeah.
Now, Randy, again, down below, I see like status, confirm,
Yeah.
and then it said unconfirmed. What is that all about?
That means they haven't confirmed back through QRZ for.
Okay. Just
But
through
the nice
QR.
thing about this contest, I don't need confirmed contacts. I just need to
Very
work
cool.
them.
Oh.
Yeah.
Look at that.
So here's my POTA, and I've worked 604 here as
Oh,
well.
wow.
So that's kind of what I do part-time here as well. So
Full-time DXer, part-time POTA hunter. I like it.
yeah,
No kidding. Yeah.
You got a lot of fans out there for that.
yeah.
Randy, I do have at least one question.
Sure.
Now, James wanted to know, what setup are you using to gather the great DX? I'm guessing what's your antenna situation and all that good stuff.
I have a 45-foot tower.
Okay.
I have a JK antennas. It is the Navassa 5. I have lots of videos on building the whole tower if you want to see it from digging a hole to getting it run. It's not a big beam. It's got a lot of aluminum in the air, but it's not a big beam. It's 2 elements on each band, 20, 17, 15, 24, 10, and also 2 on 6. So there's a lot of elements up there, but it's only 2 elements for each band. So it's not a super DX antenna, but it's working well.
It's obviously doing the job
Clearly.
quite well. Yeah.
Yeah. And the reason I don't have a huge beam is that the boom on this antenna is only 12 foot long. So when my tower tilts down, the top of the tower is only like 6 feet above the ground. So I can work on the antenna without having to get on a step ladder. If I had a 20-foot long boom, when it tilted down, the top of the tower would be at least 10 feet above the ground. So
That's handy.
old people, so old people and ladders don't mix.
Yeah,
So
no. No.
Or climbing. I mean, and it doesn't
Yep.
matter on your age. Just
Yeah.
climbing is not always a great thing to do. So
yeah, the tower was the most expensive ham radio thing I ever bought.
Sounds like it's working for you, though.
Yeah.
definitely.
Well, you put your money into your antenna system.
I agree with that full-heartedly. Hmm.
Absolutely. Because without that, the biggest radio in the world isn't going to work for you.
Right. So a great antenna and an 891 Yaesu radio will work great.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. Same thing. We take our tower, our
Yeah.
tilt over camping with us now, and we use 10 watts. at most.
Yeah.
They're 705. Still make it work.
Yeah. So that's what I've been doing in my spare ham radio time this year.
Well, you've been traveling a lot too. I mean,
we went down to Pacificon. We did an Alaska tour. I don't know, been doing some other things, but a lot of projects around the house. I had some guys come in, some loggers, and take down 4 big trees. I worked with them. They split it all up, got it in my barn. So I got over 4 cords of wood from that little project. So without killing me. So, yeah.
Oh, and other good news about Talking DX. DXCC is now up and running with the ARRL. So everybody, yes.
Oh, good.
That's
yes,
brand
they
new,
did
yeah.
that this afternoon.
Excellent.
Yes, that's a good thing. They say they have a lot of catching up to do, but
they have had their
still
troubles.
be patient. Yes.
So I don't know where we go next from here.
I think we're
That's
going
a great
Icom.
question.
Icom,
Yes.
okay.
Keep your competitive contesting edge with Icom. Icom's high-powered base stations cut through pileups, letting you work the bands and record those contacts. Contest from the comfort of your home or remotely with the RSBA One app. Heard it, worked it, logged it. Icom heard the call and answered. The ICPW2 is here. Take your contesting experience to the next level with Icom's industry-first linear amplifier, which includes DPD, digital pre-distortion, and a built-in 2x6 automatic antenna selector for SO2R single-operator 2-radio operation. With the IC7610, faint signals are no longer challenging for DXers and contesters. This high-performance SDR radio changed the world's definition of an SDR transceiver. This high-powered base station features an RF direct sampling system, 110 dB RMDR that can pick out the faintest of signals, even in the presence of stronger adjacent signals, an independent dual receiver,
Yeah, hold on, we're running the ad.
dual digicell, and more. This is the SDR every ham wants. For more information about Icom's amateur radios and to locate a dealer, visit icomamerica.com/amateur today. For the love of ham radio.
And, well, there we go. Oh, man. We've been having all kinds of fun today. Here we go. And we do appreciate Icom so much for the help that they give us in the sponsorship of Ham Nation here on the Ham Radio Crash Course. And every time we're live, guys, if you click that little button that says Enter Now, you can be entered to win one of 3 swag packs that we give away. And at the end of the month, we give away a radio. And you've been waiting for it this month. If we scroll down, is a 2730A. We're picking the winner right now. So here we go.
That's a great radio.
It
I
is
just put one of those in my car.
Fantastic.
I love
radio.
that thing. Yes.
All right. So the winners for the swag pack, and yes, swag pack winners go into every month winning the radio, and you stay in for the whole year. Warren G. Wow, Warren G. That's an initial, but Warren G won this. KJ5EVX, Ray F, K6NOV, and James W, KO4MKP. Swag pack winners. Who won
There you go.
the 2730? Bill W, K3WJW.
He's going to love it.
And then look at the rest that we have coming up. So in November, a 5100, and December is a 52 Alpha. So remember, click Enter Now to get entered into the contest giveaway, get a swag pack, maybe win a radio. Thank you so much to Icom America for sponsoring Ham Nation. Now we're going to check in with our buddy Wayne. He's here. I think we got it working. Take it away.
Oh, I hope so. How you doing, Wayne?
I am doing great.
Yay,
Oh,
we
fantastic.
got him.
You sound pretty good.
Good.
So I appreciate you being here. And everybody that was impatient, you send Wayne your hate mail. Just kidding.
No, he did great.
Oh,
I can only say that because Wayne is a really good friend of mine, N0POH. And Wayne wears a lot of hats in the ham community. And he'd be here all night if he told you all the ones that he wears. But yeah, fantastic. And he happens to be the chair of the National Radio Club. So Wayne is going to tell us what the National Radio Club is. Josh is going to show us the website. And then we're going to tell you what it's all about and how it works. Wayne, you take it away. Introduce the NRC for us.
Well, the National Radio Club has been in existence since 1933. And for hams who DX, one of the big things that was the beginning of DXing was actually listening for distant stations on the AM radio band back when AM radio was first starting. The NRC was a latecomer. They started maybe 5 or 6 years after the hobby began in the 20s, but it's been the oldest and largest continuous broadcast band DX club in the world. We started in 1933. We're in our 92nd year, and we deal strictly with broadcast band DXing. So if the station operates between 530 and 1700 on the AM dial, that's your targets. And of course, the idea is the same as anybody else who's DXing. You try to get as many countries, as many stations, as many states, as many provinces as you can. So that basically is the National Radio Club in a nutshell.
So basically, you have a bunch of people that are members, and they keep logs of all of this, and they submit them to you. Is there like contests involved in how many people list here or anything like that?
We have had contests in the past. Most people keep their own logs, and unlike ham radio, there really is no real contests or any awards. What you get basically is the satisfaction of having your own brag sheet, being able to brag about having heard how many countries. I mean, I'm up to like 72 countries from the United States. I've heard all 50 states. I've heard all the provinces and territories except for Northwest Territory in Canada. And the big thing for many, many years early on was verifications. And, Randy mentioned getting things verified for a contest. Well, verifications went on the wayside as AM radio started to decline in listenership, advertising, and many of the things that people have said are killing off AM radio. So it made the verification part of our hobby very difficult. We've got verifications out on our website that go back into the 1920s from some of our members who are now silent keys, who've donated their former verifications to us so we could scan them and put them out on the site. We have somewhere around 10,000 scans out there that can be viewed. We also have in our archives the National Radio Club DX bulletins, the DX news bulletins from 1933. We're missing the first 11 issues that one of our old-time members did not have because he wasn't a member, but he saved every bulletin he had from, I believe it was number 11, all the way up to when he passed away.
Wow.
We were able to scan all of those in. They're all available on our website as well.
I think I remember talking to you several times where you were saying you were scanning in those documents. I think you did all of that work.
Me and a few others.
Josh, if you don't mind going back to where it had the DX news, like the newsletter that they publish, the members can pay to have this sent out. Wayne, I have been printing this for I don't know how many years now. There are things in this that I still don't understand. Now, you report in this newsletter kind of like ghost AM stations. You also put in there people's logs, I believe, some musings from the members of things that they heard. What is all the information in this little booklet?
Well, it's divided up into what we call domestic DX, which USA and Canada, and then we have international. And people send in their loggings, what they've heard, to those various columns. We also have the musings, which is kind of like a brag place where you can write a letter to the members, the rest of the members at large, and just send that in so they can see what it is you're doing. Mm-hmm. DX Toolbox is a bunch of tips, hints, what to do. The AM switch column is where we keep track of changes to the broadcast band stations. In other words, power's increased, antenna changes. We also track format changes and various information having to do with what a station broadcasts.
Mhm.
We have a book, it's called the AM Radio Logbook, and it's a compilation of all the stations in the United States and Canada in an index form by frequency. And that it basically is the Bible for the hobby, because when you're listening and you think you hear a call sign, you can look it up, run your finger down the page, and see if you can find that call sign, or maybe something similar to it, which is going to kind of give you an idea of what you really did hear.
That's pretty interesting. And I've mostly because I print this. I do, you guys, every other week I print this book for them. And things I've seen in there is like you show kind of setups, like some radios for listening, some receivers, things like that. What is a good, if somebody was just like, I would like to do that sometime, what do you recommend for a receiver?
Well, for anybody who's a ham, you probably have a transceiver, and your transceiver is probably a general coverage receiver. I'm still limping along in ham radio with a Icom 756 Pro 3.
That's a great radio.
It's a great radio.
Yeah, it is.
It's sitting right over here. It's monitoring 6 meters at most times, but I also get up there and do the HF bands with it as well. It also has a very hot section in the broadcast band. Now, Icom, their rigs at that point in time, and I don't know what they're doing now. I haven't bought a new one. This one's been lasting so long, I don't have to. But at one point in time, the filters that they put in there to keep medium wave stations from interfering with the ham bands, when you go to a certain frequency in my Icom, that filter drops out so that you have full control of the receiver, and you don't have any degradation on the signals when you're receiving them. So you can start out there. A lot of people start out with, believe it or not, little battery operated portables. There used to be one Radio Shack made called the TRF, and it was a tuned radio frequency, ran for about $50, and it was literally almost state of the art with the way that was built back in the 60s and the 70s. A lot of us now have graduated to SDR. I run a bunch of SDRs. I run all SDR Play. Shameless plug. They're people that I've worked with on their software, but they have very good radios for a very modest price. Others use Perseus, ELADs, variety of different SDRs. And they're mostly, it depends how much do you want to spend, how much do you want to get into it. But to just start out, if you've got a general coverage amateur transceiver, you're good to go.
Now, there's a lot of discussion in the chat right now about antennas. What do you use, Wayne?
Well, in the past, I've used air core loops, a 4-foot X frame with a bunch of windings of a coil on it. There's a variety of different commercial ones available from people like C. Crane that have smaller, they're mostly ferrite rod loops. I also, at this point, have been using flags. Anybody who's familiar with wire antennas, I've got a 40 by 15 foot flag in the backyard, and I have another 40 by 15 foot flag on the side yard, and I use phasing boxes. They're all mostly homebrew. A lot of people use a variety of wire antennas.
Sorry, what's a flag? What's a flag antenna? Can you explain that for folks that may not know?
Because I don't know.
Flag antenna is just a rectangle of wire, and it's got a feed point about halfway up one of the short sides, and it runs up maybe mine's 7 feet up, 40 feet across, another 15 feet going back down to the bottom, then across 40 and back up to a feed point. And at that's where you feed it in with your coax. If you want, you could put a balun on it. A lot of people use what we call a twisted pair, which is kind of like a feed line, and you can use that as well.
It sounds very HOA friendly.
Wire antennas.
Yeah.
Looks great. I want one.
I mean, seriously,
easy
but you
to
only have
build.
to have it 7 feet up or something like that. People can hide those in their backyards. I mean, 40 feet.
Yeah, mine is actually about 6 feet above the top of my privacy fence.
Oh, really?
Wow.
Okay.
Yep.
That's workable.
Yeah, there's
Fairly
an
stealthy.
article out there right now with shows a flag right on it.
Yeah, I found that. So that's a good representation of what you're talking about?
Yep, the fact that looks like a flag out of one of our publications.
I will drop it to the chat that's watching us.
All right. Yeah, so that was one of the bigger questions. And so, Wayne, what got you into doing this? Just because you could?
I got started when I was like 14 years old,
Okay.
and that was 60 years ago now. So, and at the time, I was a shortwave listener, and I was listening to weird things like Radio Havana, and back in the Cold War days, every communist country had something. And I just accidentally found out that you could go down and hear things at night on the AM band. And then one day, I was looking through Popular Electronics, and I saw a little thing in the back that said, if you're interested in DXing on broadcast band, you can write to the National Radio Club with a address in Buffalo, New York. And I lived outside of Buffalo. And lo and behold, I joined the club, and I've been with them ever since. So.
Oh, that's
Wow.
pretty cool. Wow, is right. Josh, was there any other questions? I've been trying to breeze through chat here, but it's
Well,
hard.
somebody asked about directionality. Is that flag a directional antenna, and do you recommend a directional antenna for AM DXing?
The flag is basically directional off of either end, a figure 8. There's some varieties that you can make where you terminate one end and it turns into more or less a cardioid pattern. I've also used loop antennas. There's a variety of articles that we have in our publications and stuff that can be found off the internet. And there's another club called the International Radio Club of America, IRCA, and they have a lot of their technical articles are available for download at their website, which I believe is irca.org, but don't quote me on that one. And those are also directional, bidirectional with a figure 8 pattern. There's a variety of other ways like phasing antennas. What I do, I phase my 2 flags. One is north-south, the other is east-west. By using a phasing box, you can actually develop a cardioid pattern where you're nulling stations from one direction and hearing stations in another direction. So it can be very, very technical. And the other thing with broadcast band is you don't go out and buy. You got to build. Because the market is so small, nobody's out there building stuff for the
That makes
hobby.
sense. Yeah.
I have to say,
Bob,
your story is my story as far as how I got into radio. Was started as SWL and got into AM DXing as a kid about the same age you're talking. That was exactly how I got started. So I love this. I love this so much. But Randy's going to say something. Go ahead.
I was going to say Bob Heil would be all over this.
I
Yes, he
know.
would.
Yeah.
Yes, he would. I was looking through the website and I found QSL cards from a few of the radio stations that I worked at,
Really?
namely KOMA in Oklahoma City. Yeah,
Oh,
the
yeah.
big 50,000 watt blowtorch. Yeah.
I would not doubt that. In fact, there's ham radio operators that I know that I've worked on various bands that signed my verifications back in the 60s, 70s, and 80s that are still on the air today. In fact, locally here, there's a guy named Keith, K0KE, and he signed 3 or 4 of my broadcast band verifications before I even got on the air.
Yep. Very cool. I did
that
not
is
know
cool.
about this club. I'm going to have to go through and check the website a little deeper when I have some time. That is very interesting.
And there's some hams that belong, but a lot of are non-hams as well, I would say. What do you think the percentage is, Wayne?
I'm going to say that probably 10 to 15% of our members are hams, and then the rest are non-hams. Although, being that a bunch of us are hams, we seem to be converting a lot of the broadcast and guys into hams.
Yeah.
And the other thing we seem to be doing is converting a lot of hams into broadcast band GXers, especially those that like to tinker.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
Try to get more out of something.
Just something new to do with it.
That's
you already
awesome.
got the rigs and the
Love it.
antennas. Why not figure out something else or listen to something else? That's kind of neat.
And it's not like those radio stations are moving up and down the band. You know exactly where they're going to be. It's just going out and pulling them out.
That's right. The
That
other
was
thing-
that was a question of mine. Is how do you know when and where to listen? Are you just listen and you record what you heard?
Well, there's one thing you can do with an SDR. Most of them, you can actually make what's called a IQ recording, where you actually record the digital information off of your SDR. And I record the broadcast band. I'll point my antenna in like one direction, and I'll record that all night. Then it'll take me a day, day and a half, or 2 days to come back and review the whole thing and see what it is that I could hear in that direction. Which that makes it good, because back in the day when I first started, you had to get up at dark 30 or stay up all night, because of course, obviously, 160 is also known as it's a dark band. 160 is an 80, or generally speaking, bands that you work when it's your nighttime. So when you're sleeping, that's the best time to do AM radio. Well, at my age, I prefer to sleep, record, and then listen the next day.
Yep.
So that's one of the good things about the SDRs that are available now.
Yeah.
I remember getting up early, especially in the wintertime when I was getting ready to go to school, and getting up before the sun came up and trying to catch the very end of the propagation from Chicago to Oklahoma City and hear WLS and just a little bit of Larry Lou Jack before the sun came up. And then at night I would drive around and listen to John Records Landecker on WLS in Oklahoma City. So that was I love AMDXing. That is just so much fun.
That's cool.
And
then later on I got into broadcasting and I was the DX, which was neat too.
And back in the day, that's how a lot of people started out, was looking for a better rock and roll station, playing better top 40.
Exactly. I can tell you a story. When I was at KOMA, the 50,000 watt KOMA back in the early 80s, early 80s, because I moved to New Orleans in 84, so it would have been 82, 83. I got a call from a lady one night, and I worked overnights, which is just the golden time. Got a call one night from a lady somewhere in Maine, the state of Maine, and she said she was listening to me, and I'm like, well, I don't know how you can hear me, because 100% of our RF goes west, because we have to protect a radio station in Buffalo, New York. She goes, well, here, listen. And she put her radio up to the phone, and I could hear the delay. She was listening to us long path.
Wow.
Yeah. So it went all the way around. And we had a world map on the wall of the studio. It was covered with push pins. And I remember, this was way back before email. I remember getting cassette tapes from some guy on a fishing boat in the Sea of Japan with my voice on it.
Wow.
He was listening to us down there. Yeah, it's just magic. Oh, man, my year and a half working at KOMA was just absolute gold. I loved it.
That's so cool.
That is pretty cool.
It was very cool.
Well, Wayne, anything else you want our viewers to know? Everybody needs to go check out your website and see if they want to become a member or not, and listen.
Please check out the website. We actually have a electronic version. We call it EDXN, which basically is a PDF of our bulletin. You can download that, look at it for free. Just take a look at it, see what's in it. You can go back and look at all last year's bulletins, check it out, see if that's something that you're interested at all in, and that's very affordable. and then, just get out there and do some playing around, especially, when Randy gets done with this contest he's working on. All you have to do is turn your rig on and see what else you might be able to hear in those times when, your alerts aren't going off from JT Alerts. So that's what I do.
I do actually have.
Giving me another reason to rehang my 160-meter wire that fell
There
down.
we go.
And you have a landscape for it. Yes.
There you go.
I do have one other question, Wayne. Is digital broadcasting ruining AMDXing at all?
Digital broadcasting on AM, the only thing that it can mess up is those who are using the in-band on-channel, which isn't actually on-channel, IBOC, that they call a digital mode. They mess up a frequency either side of the primary for your local DXers, and they throw hash on stations farther away. But for the most part, IBOC was it was an answer looking for a question.
Yeah.
And it did not work. They've tried many things to, shall we say, revitalize the AM band. Right now, the big thing is FM translators, which is almost every AM now has a P-Power 250 watt or less FM station attached to it.
Yeah.
That just simulcast them on FM. I don't know if that's going to do that much good or not. We still see many AM stations going dark and eventually just turning in the licenses. It definitely is a technology that has been superseded. Mr. Armstrong, he superseded it with FM.
Yep.
And FM, of course, just has its line of sight limitation because of where it's used in the VHF bands. But AM still has it does have its pluses, which if you have an emergency and you're in Colorado, tune to 850 KOA, and they cover all of Colorado all day long,
Absolutely.
all night long. And, those are the kind of things where AM, does have still a purpose. But digital just did not make it. Yep, go Broncos is what it says. Let's see if we can get them to start doing something.
I was just going to say, I used to, at 850, wherever I wasn't driving home in Colorado, I listened to the Broncos on 850.
Oh, yeah.
Sadly,
absolutely.
they did something against the Saints, so I'm not real happy with the Broncos being a Saints fan.
I don't want to talk about that.
Okay,
No,
we
we
aren't
don't.
going to go there.
Well, Wayne, I know you have a prior engagement at 8 o'clock, so I just want to say I appreciate you being on here tonight. I think the viewers absolutely loved you. So thank you so much for being
I
here.
appreciate you having me on here. People that go to the website, if they have questions, there's a contact form. Just go ahead, shoot the contact form with the question, and be happy to answer it for you.
Perfect.
Thanks, everybody. I appreciate being here.
Thank you, darling.
Thank you,
we'll
Wayne.
talk later.
Yep.
Great stuff.
Bye-bye.
Okay, Don, it's all yours.
That was very cool. That was extremely cool seeing the AMDXing from the other side as I've been on both sides of it now, and which is really, really cool. But anyway, that's not why you tuned in. Let's go ahead and get to the news of the week and the solar update from Dr. T. But first, here's Amateur Radio Newsline. From Amateur Radio Newsline report number 2451, this is Ham Nation headlines for Wednesday, October 23rd, 2024. A veteran of software development has been named the new Director of Technology for Amateur Radio Digital Communications.
Congratulations to software developer Skylar Earl, N0GIS, who has joined the team at Amateur Radio Digital Communications as its new Director of Technology. Announcing his arrival on their website, ARDC called Skylar uniquely qualified for the post because of his long history in open source software development, ham radio, and wireless technology and engineering management. He has been a licensed ham since 2011 and is a former member of the Auxiliary Communication Service in San Francisco, California, which operates in times of crisis. Skylar is the co-author of Mapping Hacks, published in 2005, 5 by O'Reilly Media. The book explores the potential held by free open-source geographic information systems. In Sonoma County, California, he was able to establish a cooperative that helped bring high-speed internet access to a rural community living in the coastal hills. This is Jack Parker, W8ISH.
It's not too early to start thinking about January 2025 and Straight Key Month, an event run by the Straight Key Century Club.
If you think that the Straight Key Century Club may have designs on the future, you're right. As the club does every year, it is extending an invitation to its members to submit an imaginative and attractive QSL card to be sent out following the annual Straight Key Month activity in January. The K3Y event will mark the club's 19th anniversary. In mid-December, the submitted designs will be presented to club members for a vote. The most popular design will appear on the official K3Y QSL card, and as before, 12 other top selections will appear in the SKCC's print calendar. The popular event, which begins on the 2nd of January following the ARRL Straight Key Night, features club members calling CQ from all 13 regional call areas in the U.S. and from countries in 6 IARU continental regions. If you don't have a copy of this year's calendar and want to see some of the most popular designs created by members, visit the link in the text version of this week's newscast at arnewsline.org. This is Randy Sly, W4XJ.
Having a new ham radio shack is always something worth celebrating, but what if your new shack also happens to be a valuable research tool and a center for the education of university students at the University of Scranton in Pennsylvania?
The new Radio Shack inside the Loyola Science Center at the University of Scranton offers a vast view of the city 5 floors below. The state-of-the-art amateur radio equipment that make up the station offers a view of the world beyond and the electromagnetic activity above that provides the means by which we radio amateurs make HF contacts. This is the new shack for the W3USR Amateur Radio Club, which was founded 4 years ago. This is not just a headquarters for student operators on campus, but a research resource for students and faculty members who are involved in HAMSCI, the Citizen Scientist Investigation Group led by University Professor Nathaniel Frizzell, W2NAF. The shack will become a busy place as HAMSCI conducts its experiments funded by benefactors such as NASA, the National Science Foundation, and Amateur Radio Digital Communications. Outside, a 40-foot tower has antennas for HF, VHF, UHF satellite, and microwave frequencies, with some antennas on rotators. The shack officially opens its doors on Friday the 25th of October. This is Travis Lisk, N3 ILS.
And that's all from the Amateur Radio Newsline, your independent source for amateur radio news since 1976 at arnewsline.org. With Jack Parker, W8ISH, Randy Sly, W4XJ, Travis Lisk, N3ILS, Karen Eve Murray, KD2GUT at the news desk in New York, and our news team across the globe, I'm Don Wellbanks, AE5DW. 7-3. We'll see you next time here on Ham Nation. Now, here's the solar update from Dr. Tamitha Skov, WX6SWW.
Space weather has been pretty quiet over the past week, but it looks like things are going to change here soon. As we take a look at our Earth-facing disk, we do have a lot of active regions in Earth view, but not a lot of big flare players. In fact, we've been getting mainly pockets of fast solar wind from big coronal holes like this one here, and we have another coronal hole. This one's going to be giving us a pocket of fast solar wind over the next couple days. Most likely not going to last all that long and only give us aurora at high latitudes. But as we pay attention to region 3863, over the past day or so, it fires off a solar storm launch. Pow, right there. You can see that. It actually, you can even see a dimming region up in here. The main bulk of this solar storm, even though it is in the Earth strike zone, looks like the bulk of the wind is going up north and also down south of Earth. But we could get a little bit of a wispy solar storm at Earth over the next few days. That will be enhancing the tail end of this fast solar wind coming from this coronal hole. Still not expecting all that much activity, but at least it's a bump up from where we were. On top of that, we've been paying close attention to these regions here on the eastern limb. These regions, believe it or not, especially region 3869, are big solar storm producers and are returning regions from last rotation. In fact, as we take a look at our JSOC helioseismology far-sighted viewer, we can see these regions here have actually been returning. One of them is region 3844. That's the region that's just rotated into Earth view. And we also have region 3842, which will be rotating into Earth view here over the next couple days. So expect, amateur radio operators, that you could see higher solar flux, bigger radio bursts starting again with big radio blackouts, and we could get some more Earth-directed solar storms over the next couple weeks. Switching to our moon, we are now passing through the third quarter phase on our way to a new moon, with the new moon being on the 1st. But by the 31st, the moon will be only about 1% illuminated. So if you want to catch some dim objects in the sky, like, I don't know, maybe some aurora or some spooky ghosts for Halloween, well, now's your perfect chance. Switching to our solar storm conditions and aurora possibilities over the coming week, we are expecting that fast solar wind from that coronal hole that's rotating in through the Earth strike zone. At high latitudes, NOAA's expecting active conditions up to about a 30% chance of minor storm conditions, and then things will settle down as we move through the fast solar wind. But by the 27th, we could get an opportunity for a solar storm to hit us, and that is going to be kind of on the tail end of that fast solar wind. This is from that Earth-directed solar storm that looks pretty wispy, but we could get about a 20 to 30% chance of minor storming again. So aurora photographers, if you're at high latitudes, you could definitely get a chance for a show. And now at mid-latitudes, well, we are looking at unsettled conditions for the most part. We have kind of a wind watch going with about a 10% chance of minor storm conditions, but likely the polarity just isn't the right way for this coronal hole to give us all that much of a show. And then by the 27th, we could get a bit of a chance again with that solar storm possibly hitting. It'll be pretty wispy. I'm giving us about a 15% chance of a minor storm conditions, but likely we're not going to see all that much at all. So aurora photographers, if you're at mid-latitudes, you're likely going to have to sit this one out and wait for the new regions on the east limb to give us a chance for a bigger show. And now switching to our solar flare and dayside radio blackout outlook over the coming week, we are sitting in the triple digits, almost up at 200 for solar flux, and it is going to climb over the rest of this week because of those new regions in Earth view that are continuing to rotate into Earth view from the east limb. NOAA's giving us about a 60% chance of M-class flares at an R1 to R2 level radio blackout, and that means we have moderate noise on the bands, and that will continue easily through this week. We're going to see it uptick a little bit, possibly going to about 70, possibly even 75% chance of R1 to R2 level radio blackouts by the end of the week. It depends upon how strong those active regions are as they rotate into Earth view. We even have a small chance right now of X-class flares at an R3 level radio blackout, and that also may increase. So amateur radio operators, expect to have a bit more noise on the dayside radio bands, but things shouldn't be too bad. And now switching to our radiation storm and polar aviation outlook over the coming week. Everything is in the green this week. We have sitting in the D1 normal range. This is at flight level 360 for you aviators. This is also the S0 quiet range for everyone else. And NOAA's giving us only about a 1% chance of radiation storms at the S1 to S2 level, which basically means we're all in the clear. So even you frequent flyers and you high-risk passengers, and this does include air crew, looks like everything is going to stay in the green for this week, but next week things might actually start rising once again. I'm Tamitha Skov, the Space Weather Woman. Thank you for watching.
Well, I don't know about you, but I think it's just about as cool as it can be that we have our own personal solar physicist, Dr. Tamitha Skov. And if you don't follow her on X, there's something wrong with you, and we don't want you in the house, literally. You need to do that because she has, I mean, I say it all the time. I've been saying it for almost 10 years now. I don't think she sleeps because she's constantly updating X and various other platforms that she's on. She does a lot of long form stuff. She does some live stuff. She does a lot of Q&A stuff too on spaceweatherwoman.com, as well as her YouTube channel, which oddly enough is called Tamitha Skov, real easy to find. So if you don't follow her, you really need to. And thank you to Dr. T and, of course, all of the Newsline staff and the folks that help us put that together. So that's all I have. Who does it go over to, Josh? I'm not looking at the page because
it goes to me.
There's no pictures on the page.
Go.
That's really why I don't look at it.
I have something else I want to show you.
Yeah.
Yeah, for a second here before it
Yeah,
disappears. And it's still up on the screen. Let me share the screen.
Okay, quick. Here we go.
Yeah.
He's going to push a new screen here. Did he just work a contact while we're sitting here?
Probably.
No.
Yeah, look at the blue lines.
Oh, look at this.
Okay, here's the
show off.
Here's the blue line, so everybody that's hearing me. What's interesting is this one way up here in the north.
Oh, yeah. Look at that.
And when I bring up this QRZ page, this is the Eureka Amateur Radio Club, probably the most northernly located amateur radio club in the world.
Cool.
We stumbled on them before.
Yeah, okay. Have you worked them?
No, we just hear them sometimes, just like you're doing right now. Did you work them?
No, he says we cannot provide two-way QSOs at the moment since we're not at the station.
Yes, exactly.
So he's home, and this is running probably an SDR or who knows what up there while he's gone. So, but I sent the guy a message saying that, when you're there, let me know. I'd like to get you.
Sure.
Yeah, that.
Because it would be a new ITU zone.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Back to you, Amanda.
That's neat.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Oh,
show
and
off.
I was going to say, Don.
We love you, Randy.
We don't like braggers around here. Not only does Dr. T do all this stuff in her spare time, she actually works too. Everybody.
Yeah, she does, and she's constantly traveling all over the place.
I know.
Doing presentations and some other things. She's a teacher. She's amazing. I don't know, and she has a family. She's got a young daughter.
Yeah.
I don't know how she has time to do any of that stuff. I don't. I can barely find the time to wake up and drink my coffee in the morning. But she's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
It's true. It is awesome. Okay, everybody, you ready for hammock?
Yes, please.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All are due to the thanks of X this week. There was so much there I didn't even need to go to Instagram. Okay, everyone see me? See the screen?
Yep.
I am moving now.
Silver
Hold on
box.
1 second.
Yep.
It's going to catch. There we go.
Okay.
Silver box.
There we go. It's some kind of SDR.
Exactly. Good call. I didn't know what this was. And I still really don't, except for that it's called an air
ohm
spy.
Connectors?
Air spy range.
Air spy. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I had to look it up, and it's like all ranges, anything from like 6 to 160 in this sucker. Really cool. I have absolutely no idea what the price point is on it. I just thought it was really neat. So
they've got software too, AirSpy does, called SDR Sharp, that you can use with a little $30 or $40 RTL SDR dongles. That's what I use, is the SDR Sharp.
Anyhow, I liked it. It's got a big old ferrite bead on it,
there.
but
yeah, a lot of it. Yeah. You need that.
Calm down his USB line.
Okay, this is just announcing HamCon Colorado in October of 2025.
Cool.
So everyone book it. It's going to be in Grand
plug.
Junction. I know, right?
I've never been to Grand Junction. Interesting.
It's direct flights right there.
Is it?
There is an airport there. You'll have to check it out. Maybe you have to go to Salt Lake and then over to there, but definitely.
As junctions go, I hear it's grand.
But
See what I did there?
Yeah.
I'll be here all week. Try the view.
Let me scroll in. I just wanted to show off. Gordo was actually working this last weekend, so way to go.
He was working. Yeah.
It's another one that never sleeps. Amanda's so busy.
Yeah.
I know it. I just felt really sad for this pitcher. He's really happy to be at the swap meet. There's not much there. I'm really sorry.
He is the swap meet.
He is.
I hope you sold everything that you had, but
including
do better,
the table.
people. Show up and sell your stuff. It just looks so lonely.
Table might be worth more.
Yeah, that's true. Get more for the table.
Yeah.
Oh, here we go.
Okay, this one is just really nice looking. It really looks like it would be easy to travel with. I don't even think
that's an ATOS on the top.
This guy is getting ready for the contest this weekend, the DX contest, and he's going to be operating out of this BW van. So way to go.
Nice.
Have fun.
Clean
all the
setup.
good things. It said 120 radials will be added. I was like, jeez.
That ought to work.
Nobody would be getting near his van.
No, that's what I was thinking.
Got ground?
Yeah. So that's a lot of work to put out 120 radials.
Yeah, it is.
Good luck with that. Okay, This is what we call Amanda has a growth moment. I usually like bash AI pictures until I read this, because this guy is saying these graphics are grabbing the attention of non-hams to get them licensed. So I've been bashing, saying this is so inaccurate and so stupid. But I'm changing my viewpoint now, because if this can grab the attention of non-hams and get them excited about amateur radio, I say let's do it.
And if they like that, once they see the real stuff, they'll really like it.
Did you notice that the computer on the upper left says Aries?
Yeah, I did. And then there's Discord, and so it's just trying to tell you everything that you can do in ham radio. And I am no longer going to say, oh, this is such a stupid illustration. The microphone cord isn't even plugged into the radio. Enough. Okay, you guys
at least
win.
This is a good one.
Yeah, I like it. So
I like the comic book style too.
I do too. The pop arts and the comic book styles are pretty cool.
Yeah.
When it's really ultra realistic, that's a little creepy.
It's very creepy, because I got sucked into one of those. What was it? The little girl holding the puppy, the hurricane one. I got sucked into that, and then once I looked at it, I'm like, no, because they never do the eyes or the hands
on
right.
one
yeah,
hand.
exactly.
Yep.
Right, exactly.
There's something just little one ear's like too high up or something.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
Okay, this is just I would never buy this radio just because of the name of it. Just can it.
I have it. I have
radio.
I would not choose a 666 radio. Just not
it's
it would not be on my shopping.
It's 4
okay,
Yeah,
it
it's
doesn't
4
matter.
6s.
It's 4
There's
6s.
a great big ranch in Texas, the 4 6s ranch.
I'm glad. Just update your firmware. Have a nice day, but don't name your radio this if you want people to buy it.
We went one past
you're Josh.
evil right into the 4th 6.
Yeah,
you're fine.
That's right.
It's fine.
That's right.
It's one more.
You couldn't come up with a
Cancels
better.
out. It cancels out
it's
the
like,
evil.
It's like going to an 11 on an amp. This is
What
one more
is
six.
harmonic.
Why is it called 6666 though?
I don't know.
I don't know, because they couldn't spell Alvin.
It can be like
I don't
4 or
know.
5.
It's one better than 6665.
Yeah, see?
Okay.
It's the next one.
Why is it called WD-40? Because they got to 40 and got it right.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
It's true. You didn't know that?
Water displacement 40.
All
40,
right.
that's right. It was the 40th iteration, got it right.
Now, this one is EME stuff.
Yeah.
First of all, evidently there was a big EME contest weekend, and some people went really crazy about this. And
I had that big supermoon. That might have helped.
I didn't realize that you had to have all this specialized equipment, so I thought this was really cool. And I just wanted to show this off, because if I hadn't seen it, maybe there's some others out there that haven't seen that you have to go above and beyond to have EME contacts.
Oh, yeah.
This is
think about
really
it.
cool.
You're squirting your signal out. It's got to hit an object 250,000 miles away and then come back.
And how much
That's
attenuation do you get from that?
Right.
Lots.
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
wait, hold on. I took the next picture over, so this
Oh,
shows
there we
like
go.
kind of the working
nice.
of it. So again, it was just pretty cool, and it's more investment that you have to do in ham radio. I thought it was as simple as maybe your space station contacts. Evidently it's not.
no.
And you have to have a lot more power behind it. So don't stand in
Do you
front of
remember
those antennas, by the way.
Remember that?
Right.
Remember that old picture of young Bob Heil standing on that tower with all that aluminum in the sky? Those were Yagis for EME.
Really?
Now,
Yeah.
I just like to point out, look at how there's no feed line here. There's like
Right.
one little piece of feed line. It's all
Right.
direct for very
Right
low
there.
loss at the higher frequencies they're
Yes.
running.
Okay.
And power
Across the
losses in
waveguide,
general.
yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
And happy birthday
That's
to
high
this
zoom
guy.
stuff.
Oh.
Oh,
Who
very nice.
who wouldn't want a nice
Wow.
birthday cake like this? That was pretty
That's
cool.
the cake? Oh, that's
Yes.
cool.
Yeah, that's a cake.
Nice.
I know.
Well,
Somebody put a lot
whatever
of
that
work
says
into
to
that.
him too. Yeah.
I know. That's the funny thing, is that no matter what, I follow a lot of people that are in different countries, but they always use the hashtag ham radio. You still know what they're talking about.
Yeah.
Thought
You
they were
don't-
talking about hot sauce for a while with Tomasco.
Although,
You
Elon,
need a B.
if you could please put in a translate button, I would really appreciate it, because I'd like to know what they're describing in some of their tweets. This is
From
just a
your
really
lips to
cool.
his ears.
This is just a really cool little container for this. I liked it. Isn't it pretty?
That's a Heltec device running an APRS iGate. So it's
there you go.
APS 32 or ESP 32 device doing that. That's slick. That's cool.
That's very cool.
I thought it was. I just thought it was clean. It definitely ham it. This is so funny. I got this in the mail too, and
So did
Steve is okay. So this guy, this ham, KZ4CD, is made a prepper book. I think that's what you would call it. Yeah, for children.
Yeah.
So he writes. There's like a little bit about radio in there, but mostly it's about being prepared, and it's for kids, kid age. So I just thought that was really cool.
But there's like multiples of them. There's many books.
Yes.
Yeah, very good.
His name is Kermit, and it was a fantastic job, a great little book, and I just didn't have it right in front of me to show you guys. But anyhow, check it out.
Nice.
I bet they're on Amazon. So
Probably. Everything else is.
what's this? Okay.
Oh.
So evidently,
Oh, yeah.
evidently, Don got wind of this, told other people, told Josh. Josh got a hold of the actual concept of this.
That is cool as it can be.
Turn your
Makes me want an
Android
Android
phone
device. Yeah.
into a 2-meter rig. Is it only 2 meters, you guys?
It's
I'm not-
only 2 meters right now.
Yeah.
2 meters right now.
Let me
Okay,
see
so
if I can.
And it's a watt. It's like 1 watt. I mean, it's not like, 100 milliwatts or something. It's 1 watt, isn't it, Josh?
Yes.
now how the heck do you get a
Hold on.
watt out of a
I don't know.
There it is.
There's an,
there it is.
yeah,
nice?
yeah.
And so
Yeah, there's an RF module, and there's only like 4 parts, including the circuit board. I mean, it's there's nothing to it.
But yeah, I've got a couple repeaters here, and I can switch between them. And what's even cooler is you can. Oh, it says it's not found, but anyway, you can. If I can get this out of the way, I can't. It doesn't. Hold on, it's upset about something. Hold on, shove it in harder. That makes everything work. So
Yeah, absolutely.
yeah, so if you
Faster.
hit text chat, you can actually send a message over APRS with this. Now it's not complex. It's not doing the whole APRS beacon or the what would be a part of the beacon. But if you just hit the text chat, it'll just go as an APRS kind of bulletin message, and I can pick it up on any APRS radio when it's on, of course, the APRS frequency. But
Right.
yeah, it works. It works surprisingly well for, I don't know, $30 or $40 you have in parts in this thing. It's a slick little
Yeah.
piece of kit. Yeah.
And like I said, it's only like 3 parts, including the circuit board, or 4 parts,
Sure.
including the circuit
Yeah.
board.
And people in
Yeah, you
chat,
got-
this is Android only for right now.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
2 meters
Yes.
only $35. Only.
Josh has a video on it, so go look it up
Yeah,
on Ham Radio
yeah,
Crash Course. It's very
definitely.
It's of course it's not a kit that you just buy and all the pieces show up. You actually got to go
Right.
source the pieces.
cool.
But
Yes, but the
it's
guy
a
tells you where to
throwback.
find everything.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he
it's
links you to
very
everything.
cool.
Links you to everything.
Yeah.
I thought it was pretty awesome. Okay, I still had the question: how do you get a watt out of it when the phone itself is only like milliwatts? How does that?
That's-
Is there
that's
some kind of
USB-C.
amp?
USB-C.
It's
Okay.
it's USB-C. Yeah.
So
Okay.
3 amp capable if depending on the phone.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And it comes out of the RF chip that's on the board. It doesn't come out of the phone, so the phone's just powering.
Well,
So it's just
right,
it's just
but-
its GUI interface kind
no,
of.
but that's Amanda's point. So if that's actually a fantastic point. I didn't even think about bringing that up to the
Yeah.
creator, but it's charging the radio device off of the USB port of the phone. And so if
Right.
the phone isn't putting out an appropriate amount of amperage, you won't get 1 watt out of it. Amanda, you're totally right on with that
true.
question.
That's true. That's
okay. So
Yeah, no,
all right.
you're right.
I wasn't sure how that worked. All right.
I got to
all right.
ask him. That's a great question.
Yeah.
There you go. I thought of something smart.
The
and
guy
I didn't think
KV4
did?
it's KV4P, right? KV4P.
Correct.
Correct.
If you look him up, you go on his site and he's got some real good videos on that. But Josh's video is awesome as well. So that's well worth. I mean, if you want to spend a little bit of time and you got $35-40 to blow and you want to play with your soldering iron for a while and you got an Android phone or an Android device, that's a cool little project. I was smitten by it. And I'm not an Android guy. I don't have anything Android, but I would want one of those.
I soldered all those connections in like 30 minutes or less. It was easy.
Yeah, or less.
We have like 16 old Androids laying around, all cracked screens, mind you.
Yep. Do you know what a great application for this is? Hamfests.
Yes.
Your little walk-around radio at a Hamfest. That'd be perfect for that.
Because they can call you on it, too, when you're not taking ham radio.
Exactly.
Right, call you on the phone to tell you to turn on the radio. Yeah.
That's right. Oh, I have one right here.
Okay, what else do I have?
That's a cool big kit.
Check it out, everybody. You'll have some entertainment with it. Again, have absolutely no idea what language this is, but I know exactly what they're doing. This is Jamboree on the Air.
Yep.
So got yourself a Boy Scout there sitting in front of a radio. So
Neerhoven. PE1. Where's PE?
I'm going to guess Netherlands.
That'd be my guess.
Should be.
Big
I
shout
think
out.
so.
Big shout out to
Looks like it. I mean,
Pacificon.
with Meerhoven, sounds
They had a
Sounds
bunch of Jamboree on the Air
unreal.
station work going on because we had scouts all up in that
Oh, did
whole
you?
thing. There was, I don't know,
neat.
what do you think, Randy? Over 50 scouts easy that we
Yeah, they
had
were running
going on?
around everywhere, all dressed up in their uniforms.
We had a tea hunt. There was multiple tea hunts going on. They were doing both the electronics merit badge and the ham radio merit badge at the show. It was awesome.
That is fantastic.
Yeah.
That's really good. I love to hear that. Again, another language.
That's a Kenwood that's the Icom receiver. Is that the Icom or the it's the Icom?
You can kind of see it right there. But this guy, once again, Elon, give me the translation button, please, because you can tell that he's totally putting in descriptions of what he's doing, but I have no idea what it is. So anyhow, obviously JE3 is in Japan. He is a mass builder maker. He is constantly like tearing a thing apart. I could have posted 16 different of his X's. I mean, it's just, he's pretty cool. Follow him if you want to see some neat gadgets.
The guy PE1 RDP is Arno Bolin. He's in the Netherlands.
Netherlands. Okay.
I just looked him up. Yeah, I just looked him up on QRZ.
So, okay, that's the end of this week's round. So
those were
another
killer.
fine selection, Amanda. You did good.
Yeah,
excellent.
Those are great.
Good stuff.
Lots of hammets this week. I don't think I had any. I don't know that I had it. Yes, I had the Anytone Canet. That was it.
Oh, William has a tip. They say, Amanda, highlight the text, right-click, and hit Google Translate if you're using Google.
Oh, there you
Chrome.
go.
Okay. Well, that's a lot of work.
That's a lot of work, she says.
God. Jeez. Wow.
Well, she wants it translated when she shows it to us
Yeah,
because we
like-
don't speak
Yeah.
Japanese.
Yeah,
We
I
don't know
cannot speak it.
Hanganga, natively.
And what is
She wants it.
Netherlands? Dutch? I don't even know what they speak. So
They speak Dutch.
Netherlands speak Dutch.
Dutch.
Yeah,
okay.
And they wear wooden shoes. I remember my first trip to Dayton in 1999. There was like a whole bunch of Dutch hams, and every one of those guys, there must have been 15 in a group, and you could hear them coming long before you saw them because they were all wearing them silly wooden shoes.
Were they really?
Really?
Yes, it was the craziest thing I ever saw. Yeah, the only time I
my
ever saw
gosh.
that. It was crazy. Their
That
feet had to
feels
have been
like-
killing them by the end of the
That
day.
must have been comfortable.
I
Yeah.
always wonder how you get through
That's what I'm
TSA with
thinking,
wooden
yeah.
shoes.
Well, check them for termites, I guess.
I don't know. So that
It
brings
was
us
funny.
to the end of the show.
They show a little long. Thank you for sticking with us.
Yeah, a little bit. We started a little delayed too.
Yeah, we started
forget-
10 minutes late, so yeah, we're okay.
Yeah, we're all right. There are nets probably going on, and they're probably waiting for everyone to get over onto their nets so they can wrap it up. But be sure to check out D-Star on 14 Charlie and 7192 with Kev and 14268-ish with Steve. So thank you, everyone. Join us again in 2 weeks. And is that going to be? It is. It's going to be after the election. Thank God.
Oh,
I just want it to be over with. So.
But we're going to miss Halloween, though. Unfortunately, I always look forward to our
know.
Halloween show. We're going to miss Halloween because that's in a week. So
well, if you'd like to dress up, Don, you're welcome to.
I'm going to.
Okay.
I do.
I'm going to. In fact,
We
I'm
might
gonna
do
need
that.
that
our
can.
department
Maybe we just do that. Why don't we just dress
Our
up in
depart-
November? Why not?
and just yeah, we could do that.
We should coordinate.
Close enough. Our department at
Close
work
enough.
is dressing up as Toy Story, so I'm going to be. I don't know. They told me what I'm going to be, and that the overalls are part of it. I just got my new overalls,
I
but
didn't even.
I'm supposed to be.
I saw you wearing the
supposed
overalls
to be
this
the
whole thing. I
prospector.
wanted to call you Conductor
Oh.
Dawn this whole time.
Yeah.
What's
But
going
these
on
are
here?
actually these are roundhouse overalls. These are actually made in my hometown of Shawnee, Oklahoma, and have been since 1903, which is 4 years longer than Oklahoma's even been a state. And I've worn these all my life. My dad built houses, and he lived in these striped roundhouse overalls,
They're good.
and I absolutely love them. So I just got a new pair because I needed a new pair. We're going to do in my department at work. We're all dressing. We have a theme for Halloween, and it's going to be Toy Story. And so the girls have decided that I should be Stinky Pete, the prospector from Toy Story 2. So I've got to have overalls and a red shirt and probably some kind of a yellow bandana and some cowboy hat or something. So I figure rather than, spend $75 on a costume that I only wear once, I'll just get a new pair of roundhouse for $50 and be done with it.
There you go.
Good
That's
luck,
not a bad
Michael,
price.
on your test. Good luck.
Yes.
Yeah, Michael. Anyway, yeah, so that's the whole story. I love these things. Like I said, it's kind of a throwback to my dad because he lived in these when he built houses, and he always wore the stripes, and the stripes are cool.
They are cool.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we hit our net, so we're good to go. Thanks, everybody, for watching. We appreciate you doing that. Let's
And
go around
thanks,
the room.
Randy.
Anything- Did we miss anybody? We got everybody? Went around the room? Anybody want to mention anything before we wrap up?
I think so.
Okay, very good.
Well,
I will be with the Scouts this weekend, so doing some radio,
Ooh.
hopefully, to teach them a little bit of stuff. But look for me
Good.
on the air. Love to make a contact with you.
Oh, it's DX contest weekend though,
I know,
buddy.
I know.
Are you gonna
Ooh.
go on like 17 or something?
I don't know what to do. I don't know. Maybe I'll just work the contest with QRP and see how it goes.
There you go.
Amanda's face. That's how you do it.
QRP and a wire.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, have fun with that. Let me know.
Let me know how it goes. Tell me about it. All right, everybody. Thanks so much for watching.
I was gonna say, reach out if you need a contact. I'd be happy to listen up.
I'll text you to get a contact over QRP to make one happen. So
Yes.
Get in the log.
Beautiful.
I'd make
It's
it
called
happen.
spotting. Yeah.
I appreciate it.
Exactly. Yeah.
No self-spotting in the contest, kids. All right, everybody.
Uh-huh.
Thanks for watching. 73.
Good night, everyone.
7-3, everyone.
Thanks.